Hello, dear friends, and welcome to the Free Evolution Company channel. I am Ken JV, your technology mentor. Today, we are going to be starting with the C programming language. If you are just starting programming in C, then you are at the right place. Before we get started, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. Okay, we are going to start with the history of the C programming language. So, history. Okay. The C programming language was invented by Denis Ritchie in 1972. The purpose of this language was to write an operating system, and the operating system is still being used up to today, which is Unix. So, Unix was developed at the Bell Lab in collaboration with Ken Thompson, meaning that Denis Ritchie, who created or invented the C programming language, after some time had to work with Ken Thompson in order to develop the Unix operating system. As a result of all of that work, they won one of the most prestigious awards in computer science, which is the Turing Award. To start programming in C, there are certain tools that you will need. Obviously, the two of the most important tools that you will use, we have the compiler and we have an editor. So you are going to need a C compiler such as the GCC or the GNU, and you probably need an editor, or in the best case, you use an IDE like Visual Studio. You could also use embedded editor that comes with Windows operating system such as Notepad. Now that we are already having our tools ready, it's important to note that in this video I'm using code block for my IDE. So you could also follow up with a code block. So now that we have our tools ready, then the next thing we need to understand the code compile cycle very well. So we have the code. What is the code compile cycle? Remember that you will have to be coding programs and then compiling them, identifying errors, correcting the errors, recompiling them, and then if it happens that the code is okay, then good and fine. If it doesn't, then you will need to fix the error. It could be a syntactic error or any other form of error. You will need to fix the error and then recompile, and the process continue. So that is there code compile cycle. Now we are going to write our first program, the Hello World program. This is one of the first, or is the first ever program that was written after the C programming language was invented. So this will equally help us to talk about the basic structure of a C program. So you can see the hash include stdio.h, our main function, and our printf function to output the content or to output the result of our program. So the hash include is called a compiler directive. And what does that mean? It means it is used to provide information that the compiler needs in order to compile a program. Also in C, we have what we call the input-output instructions, which are provided by standard function stores in a standard library. So these functions are used for variable declaration, and they are stored in a special header called stdio.h. You have to note that a C program consists of one or more functions. One of those functions is what we call the main function. And in C, a function name is always followed by a list of arguments enclosed in brackets. And if it happens that there are no argument, the bracket must still be present. After the bracket, we have the left and right braces that are used to define the start and end of the program body. So that is the structure of a C program explained. In order to make the class a much more practical class, we are going to write another program. So we are going to write a program that prints the area of a square. So for you to write such a program, you need to have what we call domain knowledge. You need to know that the area of a square is side times side. Knowing that the area of a square is side times side, then analyzing the problem, I can see that I'm going to need two variables, the area and the side. Now that I've analyzed the problem, I can start with the basic structure of a C program. Now I'm having the basic structure of a C program, so I will start by declaring my variables and their type. So for this program, we'll assume that uh, the values enter will be integers. So I have area. I will use S as the site. I need to prompt user to enter. Now I will use the scanf function in order to accept the user input. I am using the format specifier %d because we are dealing with integers. And then percenter the site area sign site F to output a result. Percentage line break character, and then I need what? The area. Then we have a return. So even without the return, the program will still run well. But for best practice, let's just add the return function. So now I build the program. So it's asking me to save. I will put square area. So now that we have built the program, you can see that we are having all green here to show that we are not having any syntax problem. But you realize that if I remove this, for example, and then I build, it shows that we are having a problem, this red box. So to solve that, we come here at the level of this console and we look, you can see the error message. You read the error message, you can see that we are lacking a semicolon. So we add the semicolon and then we build back and we are okay. So if we run the program and test, you can see that it gives us 9. 3 times 3 is 9. So the area of the square is 9.